And let's just go over some of the numbers on this Ancient Mew card. 73,185 total graded in slabs. Now that's way more than 30,000. That's more than double. But let's look at what's actually in relation to it. 5,835 of them are in a 10 condition through the big four grading companies. That's not a lot compared to the Moonbreon card. And this was a card that was readily available, handed out like free candy, because it basically was. The only stipulation was you had to go see a movie. And, you know, I've worked in a movie theater and I know how it goes. I know how giving out free crap goes. When the movie's gone, and if the manager really likes you, you could just go, hey, can I take this whole box of fucking Pokemon cards home with me? And they go, well, make sure other employees get their fair share, but yeah, whatever. And, you know, sometimes the policy is you're not supposed to, but whatever. They're given out for free. There's many times that they've given out crap for free to random employees. Sometimes the managers just take them home themselves. Maybe they're Pokemon fans themselves. But over 20 years, and tens of thousands of them graded, only 5,835 have come back. And now this isn't a video me trying to tell you to go buy this card, because I'm going to tell you not to buy this card. And the reason why is right there, 73,185 with 5,835 graded in a 10. There are tons and tons of copies of this card. There's almost 100,000. I bet you that there's, if people really sent in their cards, I bet you they could easily break 100,000 of them graded. And if you're really looking at like pricing and what's logical and what's reasonable, this is a good card. I like it. I like it for the same reason I like the Moonbreon. It's definitely different. It definitely has its story. But there's just too many of them. There really is. And the last card that I want to bring up is, of course, the creme de la creme, the one that everyone talks about, and it's what the show pony of Pokemon card collecting. You know, some people will say the illustrator card is. I don't think so. I think that, you know, when it comes to the Western market, the most important card is Charizard, but that's my personal opinion. Some might say, you know, other things, but I just disagree. You look over at what Charizard has. There were 15,233 of them graded. And out of those, only 140 of them exist in a 10 across the big four companies. So we go from tens of thousands of copies of cards of the Umbreon, 30,000 copies graded with 21,000 of them graded in 10. That's 2 out of every 3 cards that are graded through Umbreon are graded in 10. There's 20,000 plus copies. To the Ancient Mew, 73,000 copies graded, 5,835 of those are graded in 10. There's a big difference right there. It's like what? Like 1 in, I don't know, like 1 in 15? 1 in 15 of them are graded like that. To 140 out of 15,000 for the Charizard. And you start seeing like this big difference. And this is what I'm going to say about the modern market that no one's really going to talk about. There's a lot of new player syndrome going on. I'll call it that. New players have entered the market in the last 5 years. It's the new speak is happening, the new religion is happening, the new thought is happening, the new market is happening. They're saying this is hot and this is not. what matters now and not what happened before that. And I just disagree. Because people are suffering from new player syndrome. And people want $2,000 for this card. I'm not even sure how much PSA 10 Mew goes. I think maybe like $500-600. And people want 100 to 200, maybe up to like 300,000 now. I think it was like 260,000 is the price on price charting or something for this card. And I can tell already that people want the Moonbreon to be the next Charizard. And they want it to be to the moon. They want it to be a $100,000 card. And I don't think it's going to really happen. And the reason why is because look what happened with this. This is like a $500-600 card. I don't know. You can price check me. I bet it's not that much. I bet, it costs something, but nothing a 14-year-old can achieve with their very first little job mowing lawns all summer. A 14-year-old could get this card. But they want it to be that way because the market is heavily manipulated. And you have to look at these numbers on these pop reports. You have to understand there's a difference in these collectibles. The Moonbreon card's going for like $2,000, $2,500. You could buy that card right now for $2,500. And if you're looking at it from an investment perspective, I think that 10 years from now, that the Moonbreon card is very likely to stay at $2,500. I don't see a lot of growth in it. I don't see a lot of rarity to it when you're looking at the big picture of Pokemon card collecting. Like I said, 140 total of Charizard, 20,000+ for this one, for the Moonbreon, and then for the Ancient Mew, 5,000, almost 6,000, and 73,000. You gotta think about the numbers. You gotta think about the long term, and I don't think it's got the fuel. And you're gonna listen to people. They're gonna pump things up, and they're gonna go, "This is the now. This is the new thing. The artwork is better. This is better. That's better." And over time, people's tastes change. People's perspectives change. What happens 5 years from now when there's a new Moonbreon? And then an additional 5 years from now, because there's going to be another Moonbreon. And then you're going to look at the market and you're going to go, wow, all these cards that are from 20 years old are very, very rare. Are all these cards from 2020 to 2025 are rare in the sense, but readily available because they were all well preserved in slabs? And in the future, there's still going to be more Pokemon cards to collect, and you might just have, it might just be rarer in the future because people might just lose interest. So I think that you can do whatever you want with your money, but I haven't personally enjoyed Pokemon card collecting for a long time, and it's because of this nonsense. It's because people just don't make sense and the market doesn't make sense. Everything has red flags on it, and I just disagree with it. And you can agree to disagree with me. That's fine. Plenty of people do. I've seen 50+ YouTubers who do their daily market report, and they say exactly the same thing. Everything's success. Forget what anyone else tells you. And that's kind of what I mean when I say you kind of can't buy that bullshit. Because they're not there to be your friend. They're there to keep you watching so they can make money. Okay? And maybe they're fluffing their own Pokemon cards because they want to see some increase in value. Take it with a grain of salt. And don't even just fucking buy all this shit.